Here we are, 49 days until Election Day, and while it looks like all the momentum behind Donald Trump right now, does he really have a shot? I know we keep asking that question. NKU political science professor Ryan Salzman joins us this morning to talk about this. Good morning.
Good morning.
I feel like you and I have been talking about Donald Trump for years now. It's only been a few months.
I know. Well, I think we're approaching a year. I really do.
Okay, so let's talk about this momentum we're seeing. You and I were talking about kind of a snapshot that we saw in June and now, and you say they're similar.
They're very similar. So it seems like we've gone a long way to come back to where we were. If you remember in June, Hillary was really kind of having some bad weeks, and the numbers were getting a lot closer, and that led into the Republican convention where a lot of polls showed Donald Trump going into the lead. So if we were to look at a snapshot, we could say that that's similar to where we are today, that again, you know, Trump is kind of within 3 or 4 points, and more importantly, that he has the lead in Ohio and that he has the lead or very close to it in Florida. And again, if we go back to June, I think those would be very similar numbers to what we were seeing then.
Where is this momentum coming from? Is this on the heels of the recent health crisis that people continue to speculate that Hillary Clinton is having? I know there's a lot of conspiracies about that. Where is this momentum coming from?
That's a great question. This has been so difficult in this election to pin any trend changes to something specific. And I don't know if that's just because there's so many things happening with the amount of information that we have today, or there's something truly unique about this. But you look, for instance, at Donald Trump on Friday. He comes out, he spends 30 minutes in a press conference talking about how he's no longer a birther. And then he gives about a 9-word thing like, oh, I no longer believe that Obama was born outside the country. Thank you so much. In a past election, that would have been a really big deal. I was flipping through my Twitter earlier, and I really couldn't find anything about it, and it seems to be lost. There's a lot of noise right now going on, and I think that's been true throughout the whole election. So I'll be honest, I don't know exactly why we're not seeing, or we are seeing, trends moving the way they are, but one thing is clear, and that's that it's trending towards Donald Trump right now.
So there is this third-party candidate, if you will, and you know, at this point with the Libertarian candidate, I know I heard an interview with him over the weekend, and he's polling pretty high with millennials. And I think the big question is, does he have a chance? I know what you're going to say to that, but does he have a chance to pull votes away from these two?
Well, and I think that he clearly does, as the way it's polling right now. If the election were held today, Gary Johnson would take a lot of votes, and Jill Stein as well, the Green Party candidate, would take a good amount of votes. What we talked about before the broadcast is that my suspicion is that when Hillary Clinton was opening up an 8, 9, 10-point lead, it was looking like it was a runaway. That maybe gave people liberty to start to really consider third-party candidates. I'm curious now, since the race is tightening, if people will reconsider their support for those third-party candidates. And I think that's particularly true for millennials. I think that millennials are maybe more comfortable being non-committal to candidates, and those are the ones where we're seeing a huge amount of support for Gary Johnson and Jill Stein. And I'm wondering if, as the election approaches, I've always held that I think that the women vote, the female vote, is going to come out particularly strong towards the end and break towards Hillary. So, you know, we're within 50 days, but there's still 50 days to go. And I think that, you know, it's time to reassess. So I was glad to come in today and give that opportunity.
Okay, well, we'll talk again, I know, before big election day and up to those hours leading till it could still change.